Hey everybody, today at UPR Garage we've got our 2024 Mustang project car here, and we're going to show you one of the first things we're going to do to it is our gut traction kit. This is our level 1 kit on our website. It's basically the IRS lockout kit that'll fit from 15 up to 24. So the lockout's going to lock out the IRS bushings. It has your IRS braces as well. Then there's a drop down menu where you can select if you want to add the alignment kit. And these are alignment sleeves that'll go up inside the cradle, and we definitely recommend those. So we're going to get right into it and show you how it's done. First thing you need is a 22mm socket. You can use a gun to take stuff apart. I would say when you're tightening it back up, do that by hand so you can get a feel for it, make sure it's torqued properly. First thing you're going to do is take the 22mm bolt out of the cradle. Make sure the vehicle is supported, and right here I have a jack stand or a pole jack under the cradle to keep it from dropping down unexpectedly. You can do this in your driveway with a regular floor jack and some jack stands. So pop out that bolt. 13mm socket. You're going to take out the 2 bolts on the cradle. I apologize for the noise in the background. We are making parts in-house, and our shop is in the CNC room. So you're going to take out your factory cradle brace and set that aside, and you're going to keep the bolts. You're going to reuse those. Now we're going to lower the jack stand to gain a little clearance between the bottom of the bushing and the top of the bushing. We want to create some space here in the body because one of the inserts is going to go in here. You only need a little bit of space. If you need more room, you can always loosen the other side. Alright, so the lockout has a key in it, and it's going to sit right in the recess. If you can see this bushing, there's a little recess here. So the lockout is going to sandwich between the floor and the bushing and just sit into that recess just like that. And it's going to all get sandwiched up into it. The lower lockout looks like a kind of a clover, and that's also going to sit into the bushing like so. You're going to take your UPR cradle brace and your short. This is going to be the short insert. This insert is going to go directly up into the cradle. So when this bolt goes up in there, that cradle is not going to move around. It's going to give you a much better handling and a much more dialed in feel to the rear suspension. Just put that up there and get the thread started. Use your 22mm socket and run this up so everything meets the floor. Now while you're doing the other side, I would leave this loose so you can also do the other cradle and then go ahead and tighten everything up once you're done. Alright, so at the back, to get to this one, it's a 21mm, just like the front. I may have been saying the wrong size, 21mm. You're either going to use a box wrench or a universal. I'm using a universal with a wobble extension on a 1/2-inch drive ratchet. Again, showing that you can do this in your driveway. If you don't have a breaker bar, tech tip, grab a piece of tubing, put the wrench inside it for leverage. Go ahead and put it in there and loosen the back bolts. You can see we're creating space between the frame and that bushing. We're going to take this bolt all the way down. I will say that if you were doing this at the same time as replacing the exhaust and the exhaust was out of the way, would make it easier to get to this bolt. Your lower lockout is a two-piece design. Comes with an Allen wrench. So you're going to undo the Allen screws. The way this is going to work is you're going to put the back side in first. This is going to go over the bushing here, and then you're going to tighten it up with the Allen screws. Again, another tech tip, the gray grease. I would put some grease on here. Again, sorry for the noise, we are making parts. Put the grease in here so that when you get this around the back, you're going to have to try and slide it, and this will just make it easier to do so. You use a flat screwdriver or a small pry bar to assist it around. Once it's in position, you're going to install the outer portion. Some of these cars, the bushing is going to be tighter or looser against this cradle. So in some cases you may need to just take like a dead blow hammer and a brass drift or a piece of wood and just tap that in until it gets into place. In this case we're going to use 2 dead blow hammers. When you get the 2 halves close together, very easily run that Allen in to get it started. You don't want to force it, and you don't want to strip it. What I'm doing is applying a little bit of pressure to the back of the bushing to allow the screw to go in easier. Okay, so once you have the 2 halves lined up, you've got the thread started, you can go ahead and use a socket with the Allen socket on there, or you can use the Allen wrench, and you just want to snug these up. They don't have to be over tightened. All you want is for the 2 halves to be joined. So as you can see, this is sandwiching the bushing, keeping that cradle from moving around too much. And you just want the 2 halves to be joined once those are tightened, and that's all you need to do. Once you have the lower done, go ahead and put the upper, and it's just like the front. The upper is going to go in here and set into the key that's in that bushing. So it's just going to kind of sit in there. You can tell it's in there right when it's not moving back and forth. Once you have the bushing in place, you're going to go ahead and reinstall the cradle nut. Put that alignment sleeve on here. It's going to slide up into the cradle, as you can see. That's going to keep that cradle from moving even more. Just get that bolt started and run it in with your 21 millimeter socket. If you still have to do the other side, leave this bolt a bit loose so you have room to work, and then go back and torque all 4 bolts to 129 foot-pounds. All right, so we spared all the curse words and went right to the end here. As you can see, we have the IRS braces installed. Much better, I mean, improvement in looks wise. Billet 7075 aluminum. We have your Cradle lockouts done here. This is your GOT traction kit on UPRproducts.com. This is your stage 1 kit. What you can't see is we also did add in our drop down menu the lockout bushings, or the pins that go up inside. It's a simple install. It's going to basically encapsulate that bolt to keep this cradle even further in place and less movement. We did the rears, and again, this here, you're going to need a screwdriver or some sort of pry bar. Just kind of get that position so you can get those screws started, and then go ahead and tighten them down. And you're going to put your lockout on top too. So that's going to sandwich the bushings, lock into those keyways, keep that cradle from moving. So under braking, cornering, acceleration, this is all going to be much more stable and really decrease and eliminate the walk that so many people hate in the S550 and S650 chassis. Get yours at UPRproducts.com or at any UPR products dealer, and you'll also see coming soon some of the other products that we're going to install, like toe links, vertical links, and our sway bar end links.